There you go.
Sure.
Ẹ wá bí wọn, ṣé wọ́n ti fẹ́ wá sanwó ẹrú tán mú ni? She want plenty gold for she and me.
Efunroye, wọ́n dọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀rọ mọ́ mi lọ́wọ́. Akọ̀gọ́ ni o.
The chief says you are foolish. So is your statement.
Èmi kan ní jẹ́ Suya Tinubu.
Ṣé gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ pátápátá ní sùúrù máa yan lẹ́gùn rẹ̀? Àwọn olùbíyà Èkó.
Dùsùn ọgbọ́n kọ́ nìyẹn, àgọ́ ni. Mo pa láṣẹ fún ọ kó o fi ìlú Èkó sílẹ̀ fún wa.
If you were active on social media around October 2024, then you must have seen this conversation where Faithia Balogun was accused of rewriting history, of whitewashing history. All this because she announced her upcoming project, Efunroye, the Unicorn. The title might look like a typical Yoruba epic language movie, but it's anything from that. It's based on real life antecedents, yes. The titular character, already Efunroye Tinubu, is a real-life character. She existed in the 1800s in Nigeria. If the name did not give that away, she was a force to be reckoned with in Lagos politics, in Abeokuta politics. But chief amongst all these is that she was well known to be a slave trader. Now, the argument on social media at that time was that she was trying to whitewash history and rebrand this character for reasons best known to people. And then it happened that she had to come out, so that's Faithia Balogun had to release a statement around that time saying that that's not the intention. As a filmmaker, her job is to come tell a story, good or bad, and let people make their own inferences. This did not sit well with a lot of people, as you might imagine, but yeah, it is what it is. So, a little over a year later, the first official look at that movie is out here. So they're done shooting with post-production, everything completed. In fact, they have a release date set for May 1st, 2026 in cinemas. And so we have a proper look at the film now. If with this trailer, you can make your own inference to a large extent if indeed this is a whitewashing job or, yeah, I mean, to an extent. It's only until we see the film that we can know for a fact if all sides of the matter, all parts of the arguments were well represented. But for what I see in this trailer, I see that Efunroye was indeed a force to be reckoned with, like the books of history do tell us. She had legs enough that in one shot here in this trailer, we see her telling the king to his face that he's, rich. So it sort of like gives you a good idea of the kind of guts this woman had. I see also from this trailer that the parts of her that were very heavily involved in slave trading are represented. How well that will be, like I said, when we see the full movie, we will know. But I don't think that they gloss over it. Storytelling, especially one that adapts things from history, it's not a one-to-one retelling. It's not a documentary as you'd expect. But for projects like this, you'd also expect, it's not far-fetched to have expectations that the subject matter will be handled with a bit more resilience or a bit more intentionality as not to mistake or distort facts. If the history book says that this woman was bad, yeah, giving us a very nuanced interpretation that sort of like makes some people think, oh, maybe she was good, it would not be the right thing. But one thing the history books do tell us is that Efunroye was a force to be reckoned with. And I think that much we can grasp from this trailer. She amassed wealth and fortune. In fact, the history books tell us at one point that she was against the expansion of the colonial masters in Lagos, so much that she was giving them problems, staging riots and protests, and then pushing them back, that they had to cajole the king at the time to exile her to far away Abeokuta. And only until she left before they had to now, or they started to expand easily. It tells us that she had her good sides, but the history books too tell us that perhaps she wasn't doing that out of full altruistic motives, more or less to preserve her own investments. You know what those investments are already. So yeah, I expect nuanced storytelling. I expect storytelling that will not gloss over facts. Yes, you want to maintain everything that makes a story good and interesting for people to watch, but you do not want to distort facts. And that's my major expectation for this project. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that Faithia Balogun will live up to expectations? Or do you think you're having faith? I pity you. Efunroye, the Unicorn, is directed by the trio of Tope Adebayo, Adebayo Tijani, and Abbey Lanre. It is executively produced by Faithia Balogun, Niya Kimolayo of Anthill Studios, and many others. It is set for premiere in cinemas May 1st, 2026. Will you be watching? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.